In the previous lesson, we wrote a method and created a page to be able to add a new country, to be able to edit and also to delete country records. Now we are going to do exactly the same thing, but this time for state records. So we've done for country, we are going to state now. But I'm going to show you something new. I'm going to show you how to add these cool looking buttons here. This edit button, this is details button, and this is delete button. So let's do that for country, and then we are going to continue in the same way for states. So if you are joining for the first time, please hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any updates. So at this point, I've opened the countries page. And besides, if you have any challenges following this lesson, please let me know in a comment or reach me personally and I'm going to help you. So there is a countries page and we have this edit and delete. So I'm going to just remove the text and also remove this. So in place of this, I'm going to simply add I/I tag. I means I stands for icon. So I add in an icon instead of a text. All right, so the class for the edit, just going to say class is equal to icon underscore pencil dash edits. And for the delete button, the class will be equal to icon underscore close, icon underscore close, underscore alt 2. All right, so this is just what you need to do to be able to add these beautiful looking icons. And let me just add one more. This is going to be the details button. So to do that, normally it's easier to learn how to copy and paste. Once you've gotten something done, you can always copy and paste. So in this case, this will be my details button, the other button that I showed you that is green in color. But we've not coded what is going to happen. So I'm going to kind of change this to details button, and the class for the icon is going to icon underscore document underscore alt. Okay. All right. So this is what we have, and in case of the details, for now we've not coded it. So let's just take out the tag from here. Okay. Good. All right, so let's run it and make sure the countries is okay, and then we do exactly the same thing for states. So we are going to be adding how to create the HTML page to add, select, insert, and edit states attribute. But one thing I want to show you before I continue is this. If I click on new state, you see that state gives a list of countries. That is something you need to pay attention. I'm going to explain how to do it in this lesson. So state gives a list of countries. How do you display a list of countries right here? All right, so let me take out this. And so if I go back to the countries page and refresh this page at this time, you can see that it gives us this. But now the colors have not changed. So the color for the details for this button right here is going to be coming from so it's going to be, this is BTN primary. So in this case we have BTN success. I think that's what is going to be, BTN success. So there's a class for the anchor tag, BTN success. Okay. So if I go back to the page and then refresh this page, or maybe I'm going to relaunch the application and then I'm going to refresh the page. And in that case, we are done with countries and then we can proceed with states. So while it's coming up, let's go to look at what we are going to do. So if I open the country controller, we have all the codes for countries in the country controller. And if I open the state controller, we have that there is no code in there. So we are going to simply copy everything from country controller and paste it right inside state controller and simply rename country to state. All right. So at this point, I'm going to refresh this page and we have this. What is happening? Okay, let's see. So we have BTN, BTN danger. So it should be correct. Plus BTN let's see. Class is equal. Okay, so we have a typo here, btn sock size. So while we are waiting for the system to application to restart, so I'm going to copy the controller for country and paste it right inside states. So I'm going to copy for controller and go to state controller and simply paste it right here. All right, so I'm going to kind of enlarge this font a bit. Okay, so I pasted the for country controller, I pasted it right inside state. So what I'm going to change, I'm going to come here and change country to state. So I'm going to do Control F and replace country. Make sure it's case sensitive right here. Make sure it's case sensitive and replace country with state. I'm going to replace find. Maybe you just replace everything and just close. All right. So you do the same thing for the uppercase. Select the uppercase and Control F, replace country with state, and just replace all, and that is fine. So close. So this is exactly what you should do. Okay, we also have get countries here. Maybe I'm going to change these countries to states. I'm going to Control F, change countries to states. Okay, replace all. Okay, close. And finally, we also have these countries. So this is exactly what you should do, and make sure it's case sensitive in the find replace so that you don't have any problem. So replace all. Okay, fine, close. So let's go back to the page and make sure we are making progress. So at this point, so let's see, we have class is equal to btn sock size, and it should be fine. It should be fine. Okay, so let's come back to that in a minute. So at this point, we have state controller. We've done it. So let's go to the service and create the state service right from country service as well. So I'm going to go to country service and also open state service. I'm going to open the country service and copy everything without the name of the class. I'm going to copy it and paste it into the state service and then change up things a bit. So country is going to change to state. So select country, Control F, find replace country, change to states, and replace all, close. And do the same thing for the uppercase, country here, Control F, change it to state, and replace all. And then you do the same thing for, I think we have countries here. This is countries, Control F, and replace states. And I'm going to replace all. And finally, we have countries here. Maybe I just do this one for lowercase states, replace all. Okay. All right, so we are done with the services and we are done with the repository as well. All right. And we're also done with the controller. So the repository, you don't have to do anything in there. All right. Okay, so now we are going to create the page for the HTML page for states, because if we go to visit the states or go to visit states, we don't have anything. So the HTML page, we've not, I think we've created it, but nothing is in there. Let's see. So we have states. We have state here. So if I go to the controller for states, state controller, and I go to, so we have lowercase states. We have lowercase states here. So it's actually states, because the name of the, you need to use exactly the name of the template, of the HTML template. So you are going to return uppercase letter states just here, okay, not elsewhere. All right, so the HTML page for state, the HTML page for country. So what you are going to do, let's just copy the page, because here we have the state.html. If you go down, you can just look for where we have the body, where you need to put in everything the content of the page. So if you scroll down, you can see at this point, you can see main content starts here, and you have page start, page end. So here we have page start, page end. So this is where we are going to put the table we are going to be copying from here. So this is the countries page. If you go to the countries page, simply copy everything here, page end, and you have page start. So copy everything between page start and page end, copy it and paste it into state. I can just remove this as well. So paste it here, Control V. So in this case, we are pasting the content for countries instead of states. So it means that we need to make a little changes here and there. So if we go to the state model, like here, so you need to know which attributes you need to use. Like you have state, we have capital, code, country, details, ID, and name. So here we have description, capital, code. So you need to adjust it to match exactly what we have. So I already have done that, and I'm simply going to correct it. You need to take some time to make sure the names you have in your HTML match exactly the names you have in the model. All right. So I'm going to simply. So this is what I would like to use: ID, description, and details. Right. So in case of state, ID, description, and details. Actually, ID, name, and details. Okay. Okay, so have state.id, state.name, state.details, and have every other thing remains the way it is, all right? So have states here. And now if we go to the countries HTML page, if we go down, we have the modals, the add modals, all right? So this is the add modal, and this is the edit modal, and this is the delete modal. So you have to copy exactly the same thing and add to the state.html page. So I'm going to do that. I already copied it to the clipboard, so I'm going to simply add it. But for you, I'll recommend you can use the downloaded completed files, because I already gave you access to the downloaded files. You can use it to cross-check your work. So at this point, I'm going to paste from my clipboard all the modals for states. So just before the JavaScript, of this modal, confirm, delete, So I'm going to just take it out. Yeah, so here you can paste all the modals. So let me now show you how to get a drop-down list. Now, in case of the drop-down, this is what we have. Like we are trying to achieve something like this. Let me see. We are trying to achieve something like this. When you click on Add New, you have a drop-down. So if you are adding a state, you must select the country the state belongs instead of typing it manually. So the second item is going to be form group, and you have label, the name of the country, the name of in fact, you just have to copy this and paste it. So for you simply specify the name of the drop-down or the ID of the drop-down, right? So in this case, let me see, we are in edit model. Okay, we have so don't worry about this. The main thing is on this one. So try to understand that the name of the drop-down list is going to be the name of the country ID, the name of the foreign key in the particular class you're working with. So here you are talking about country ID, that is the foreign key, not country, not this one. The name is going to be exactly this, all right? And then you say THH. In the options, you have THH, and you have $countries for country in countries, country.id, and description. So country.description is what is going to show up in the drop-down list, and the ID is going to be the value that is signed or received from the database when you submit this form. So try to take some time to get your head around it, and so this is what matters. This is only the key thing that matters, the name and the ID. So other ones you can adjust it to correspond. For instance, a DDL country details, make it that is DDL country edit, and that is fine. So I already showed you how to okay, this is the add modal, this very modal. So there are three modals here. We have the add modal. Let me just make some room. So we have the add modal, which is the first modal form, add modal. We have the edit modal, and now I added the details modal. So the details modal is necessary, but in case of the details modal, you need to remove the submit button from the details modal, like this. If I go back here, so if I go to, let's just close this. If I go to details, you need to remove the submit button, because in details, you don't want them to submit anything when they are looking at the details. When they want to see only the details. And finally, we need to create the JavaScript file for states. So go to the JavaScript, the JS file, the JS folder, and we also have to copy the country and save it as states. Copy and save it as state and make the necessary changes. I'm going to copy and save, yes. So it's going to be state.js, save. And at this point, I'm going to open state.js and let's just make the necessary changes to make sure it works. So this is the state.js. And here is the code for country.js. So again, you need to adjust everything you have here to match what we have for state. So these IDs are the names of the text field in the edit box, in the edit modal. So if we go back to the state and you go to the edit modal, this is this is the edit modal right here. So you have ID edit, we have country, our name is country ID, but we have DDL country edit, name edit, code edit. So the IDs is what you use in the JavaScript. The IDs is what you select using the hash key, as you can see right here. But this case is for country, so try to change it to be for state. So at this point, I'm going to copy from my clipboard and I'm going to paste it instead of typing it out one by one. So when you click on the edit button, you have is going to load up the edit modal and it's going to fill up the button, the text fields right there. Okay. We have ID, country, name, edit, name, and details. Let me just check. So state has what of capital and code. So we are missing out capital and code. So I'm going to just add it at this point. Capital and code. So I'm going to say $, select capital edit. .value.val, and I'm going to say state.capital, state.capital, right? And the same thing goes, I put a semicolon and capital, and we also need code. So this is code edit, and this is code, all right? So this is exactly what we have right here. So in the case of country, just use the ID and not the country, all right? So I'm going to save everything. And of course, you need to make the same updates in the details section, which is right here. So if I go back to the state, for one thing, let me just go down and have state.js. Make sure you have the script added here. So I'm going to run this app again. Let's see what we have. So at this point, hopefully we want to see the states HTML page, and we'll be able to manage the states, the state, be able to add, insert, delete, and update states. All right, so the applications, the server started. So I'm going to go to not here. Okay, so at this point, let's see. Okay, so we have list of states at this point. New country, I didn't remember to change it. So you can see that the country actually displayed, but nothing is displayed in here. Okay, let's test other ones. Edit worked. Okay, details worked as well. okay, and delete did not work. All right, so if I press F12, I should be able to know what is happening. So it say property substring of undefined state in line 30. So if I go back to state.js, so we can see that the problem is coming from here or from here. So I'm going to simply remove it, because for now we've not talked about JPA updating. So let's just remove this. So I hope you understand what is happening, because there are some things I'm not doing. I expect you to complete by yourself. Okay. Going back to the state.html page. Just control home. Okay. So far so good. So let's go to the state.js. Now I'm going to show you what is happening. So when we click on the details button, we expect the details to be shown. But here we have BTM primary. So instead of BTM primary, we are going to say delete button. So I'm going to say hash delete button. And also remember that the countries did not load. So from state controller, we are sending a list of states to the HTML page like this. You see a list of states we are sending to the HTML page. We also need to send a list of the countries as well. So just copy this and just replicate it. But this time we want to send a list of countries that is going to display in the drop down list. So I'm going to say country list, and here I'm going to say countries, and this is going to be country list. Okay, so this is going to be get countries. So you have all the codes. So if you have any challenge, you can look at the codes to know where you are going wrong. And this is going to be country service. Okay, so again, we need to auto-wire put this in one line, auto-wire the country service in here so that it can give us items from the country. This is going to be, all right, so here we also have the country service. If I'm too fast, please pause the video and try to understand what is happening. All right, so I think we are okay. So at least we have the list of countries is going to be sent to the HTML page. So I'm going to rerun this application at this point, and let's see. Okay. So F12 is something you use that can help you to debug, to know what is happening. It always tells you what is happening in the script, in the JavaScript. All right. Okay, so Tomcat started, and then we are going to refresh this page. So at this point, if I go to new country, actually it should be new state. We have countries listed here. If I go to edit, this actually shouldn't be. If I press F12 again, it's going to show me where so you can see uncut that are missing in state.js, and that happens, I think, in case of edit. So let's go back to the JS file for states. And it doesn't really tell us where the error is coming from. States. So if I click on this, it doesn't. Okay, so basically when I click on edit button, that is when it tells me like this problem is happening. So it should be coming from somewhere here. Okay, so I have this. I need to close this. Yeah, so this is exactly where the problem is coming from. Meanwhile, if I try to click on delete, nothing happens as well, because it says could not, because there has been an exception. All right, so let's save everything and let's relaunch this application. Okay, so I'm going to just go back. I think I broke something. Okay, refresh. Okay, good. So refresh. Okay. So if I click on new country, okay, we have list of countries, and then we are going to test the insert. Edit does not work. Details works. Okay. Delete displays the details. Okay. So let's just go back to check. So from the states file here, just go to. Actually, I'm leaving this error so that you can see how to we debug codes. So the first one should be yeah. So we have the ID is not specified here. So I'm going to say ID is equal to edit button. Okay, so ID is equal to edit button. This is details button. Let me just save everything. And this is delete button. It's going to delete. Okay, so edit button, details button, and delete button. So let's run it again. All right, so let me refresh the page at this point. Okay, so let's see. So the server started successfully and the page is refreshed. So if I go to new country, you can try to add a country, just add anything. Sorry, let's just close this. Codes, capital, Budapest, details, South Africa, whatever, save. And now we've added new country, which is this one. So if I click on edit, edit still fails. So let's try to check where the problem is coming from. Edit button fails, which is this. Okay, so we have the table edit model. So we expect it to display the. Okay, let's try to do the details button and let's see. So let's try the delete button. Does not work. Details button works. Delete button shows something else. Okay, so how this should be edit button. This is very sometimes it can be mistake. So this is edit button, this is details button, and the last one is delete button. So let's go for the last time. Hopefully it's going to work this time. So I hope you are following and I hope you understand how to debug errors that you encounter. And I'm going to go back to the page. I'm going to go back to the page. I'm going to refresh the page. And if I go to add, okay, add, edit, find, details, find, and delete. Delete does not work. So use F12 to check what is happening. Delete does not work for whatever reason. So let's go to just make sure we solve it. So we have details, we have deletes, have delete model, and table delete button. All right. So if I go back to the state and let's go down to delete model to check what the problem is coming from. Have delete model here. So we have add, edit, details, and delete model. Okay, so we have the model is not complete, so that is I made some mistake. So I'm going to copy and paste it, the correct model. So I'm going to just paste it. So this is what it should be. Okay. So finally, let's now run it, and hopefully this time it's going to work. So if it works, I'll recommend you try to do many other pages. You can build it yourself. There are some we have to do together. For instance, the employee page, because the employee page is really important because from there we have images displaying in the table. So that I've not explained to you how to do this. So I'm going to refresh this page and new country, edit details, and delete at this point. Let's try to delete. Yes, delete, and it doesn't go. So constraint violation because there's a country that has that state. Okay, so for sure we can't delete a state that has a country. I'm going to explain to you how to go around this. For now, let's just change the code from 36, whatever, change. So capital Budapest, okay, change. Okay, so this worked. So we are now able to add, edit, delete, and update states. So you try out this yourself. I don't know if we have some errors, but I think I already tested it before now. Use whatever code, whatever. Right here, save, and add new error count, validation for states. So validation for states. So I'm gonna just select country, save. Okay, so perfectly. So everything is good. So we've completed the add, delete, edit, and update for state. So if I go here, now I have the countries is also okay. So everything is fine. So now we've done country, states, and the next one we are going to be working on will be adding, deleting, editing, and updating location. I'd like to thank you for viewing. Thanks for being there, and also leave me a comment to let me know if you have any challenges whatsoever.